Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, Old World Blues. In the last episode, we worked our way through the EPA and Vault 22 events, while we are preparing for the coming war with the Republic of Mexico, which is going to probably fire off here in a couple of months. So, primarily we're just getting troops in position. We are getting airfields upgraded so that we are ready to push planes into the various theaters as needed. We've already distributed some. So we could probably move more in. So, yeah, that's where we're at. We're also cast wings. We have absorbed a bunch of new territory as a result of the decisions that we've been taking. Alright, there should be some more in here. Environmental Protection Agency, clean up nuclear waste, get base stability. Yeah, we might as well. Feral ghoul removal, we can do that. Restore watershed. Do it. Install some police forces. Vault City University, sure. Not building an infrastructure, so that won't help us at all. We do need to further develop all this stuff. Political power is getting drained out. Sponsor a follower expedition to Circle Junction. Let's see, Ciphers rejoin society. Where are Ciphers? There. We might hold off on that one. The Packers rejoin society. Over there. We can flag that one. Arm 3 batches of mini nukes. Alright. So we do have new ship tech, but I do need to work on ship doctrine. Carriers. We don't have those yet. Alright, well that got a lot of work done there. Okay. (26th of May). Spar torpedo. Just torpedoes. We still have... I guess this is Sierra Madre? Yeah, Sierra Madre events. Ghosts in the villa. A pitched firefight erupted in the streets of the villa as our troops engaged with an endless number of what we thought were crazed, demented tribals. After capturing one alive, we managed to tear the suit and his head off him to reveal not a man, but a mutant. One we've never seen before. This would explain why they managed to get up after taking dozens of lasers to the face, and only disintegration or dismemberment seems to work. Upon learning that, our troops forewent their issued weapons to using the cryogenic equipment to freeze large amounts of them, and then shatter them with well-placed punches and even a few kicks. This gave us an advantage for a time, and we've managed to establish a forward command post in the former police station. Curiously, we found evidence of a super mutant having been in this station, but is nowhere to be found. Operations to clear the villa will continue through the week. Of an interesting note, our troops have begun collecting Sierra Madre tokens as a sort of keepsake for their adventures, with some trying to collect as many as possible. Firebomb the whole thing? No. You can handle them. Alright. Nuclear jet fighter. Let's start work on that.
Enclave here.
Alright, here's our heavy robots.
This is Enclave main comm.
Problem is...
This is Enclave main comm.
somehow I miscalculated. You know what? Let's give this guy a local leader. Let's send one of these over here because I can. We'll send you guys in here. I guess I gotta give you local leader. Oh well, that's no big deal. Let's give you planning speed.
Enclave here.
Alright, then we have a new army that we're starting to form here. That's going to go over here.
Enclave here. Enclave here.
You're going to need a commander. Find somebody. There we go.
Enclave here.
10 out of 10.
This is Enclave main comm. This is Enclave main comm.
That's strange. Well, we'll just show field commanders, and we'll just promote somebody. Done.
Enclave here.
Okay, so you... are going We got all kinds of stuff over here we gotta deal with. Alright.
This is Enclave main comm.
Is there? No, there's not a border there. Okay, never mind then. Naval reactors. Done. Capital ship doctrine, medium hull 5. Starting level of new Navy officers, naval equipment experience cost. Plus 200 Navy experience. We'll go with naval officers. Alright, so you are gonna need some plans.
Enclave here.
And you are gonna need some plans as well. Chain gun mechanism. Let's get super heavy RCW. Alright, cleansing the villa. We managed to push into Puesta del Sol and Salida del Sol with the endless number of ghost people's attacks becoming more and more desperate. Made worse by the fact that the narrow streets prevent precision vertibird strikes. Observation has seen the ghost people emerging from under the city, probably in the city's sewer and maintenance shafts. The commander of the expedition has opted to create a hole in the city's central fountain in the villa. This would open a massive cavern from which a prepared defense could be used to annihilate the swarms of ghost people we theorize are down there, and then venture in guns blazing to eradicate the rest. Risky gamble, but it might work. Yeah, go for it. It eats radiation. Our research into Bovera mordicana revealed some interesting insights. While it was a deadly and horrible fungus that should be purged from records, it did have one quality. The damn thing eats radiation. Sort of. The vault contained far less radiation than was normally expected of a dilapidated vault. What's more, the plants growing around the vault, they seemed to be unaffected by radiation from the surrounding countryside. After the close study, the fungi was observed performing radiosynthesis, metabolizing the ionizing radiation, effectively eating it and even shielding the rest of the vault. It will take our biologists some time to transfer this ability to a safer, non-mutating form of fungus, but this breakthrough could lead to us cleaning up the various radiation pockets that dot the wasteland. Even eradicating the rad storms is still plaguing the landscape. There's more. That ghoul scientist, aside from being a bit rough around the edges at first, has gotten on well with her team and has shared some of her insights into the plants at Vault 22. She tested and perfected a food additive that acts as a mild stimulant in humans, and it's completely harmless. Teams were even able to salvage the food problem with the Vault as well. Monthly population plus 3%, infrastructure construction speed plus 20%. Part of the swarm. The detonation worked, creating a massive opening into the depths of the ghost people's supposed hive. For a few moments it was eerily quiet, then our troops heard the howling of the swarm, and hundreds of things came scrambling out. The prepared defense position was nearly overrun, with the ghost people clambering over dead bodies, and ash piles are rising from when they collapsed. It was the timely intervention of vertibird strikes that saved the position, and our troops advanced into the dungeon below. Laser fire could be heard from the surface, and the team's commander is requesting cryogenic support due to the copious amounts of cloud that's down there. Alright, Enclave cruiser. That's complete. Alright, you move over to doing tech research. Okay, we found a survivor. Pushing into the residential district, we began standard building clearing procedures. Hampered only by the prevalence of that damn cloud. During the course, though, our troops were surprised to come across a survivor, an intelligent ghoul by the name of Dean Domino, the famous pre-war singer. While we're surprised he survived this long, he's just as surprised the US government is still a thing. He managed to smooth talk his way into having our troops not shoot him, but he remains trapped in his room. According to him, he was working alongside a courier who was making their way through the Sierra Madre. After being a series of events, we find hard to believe he was ready to return to the world, but stopped by his old room to collect a few things. However, one of the ghost people followed him, and an ensuing scuffle broke his leg. He's been healing ever since, and when he heard us approaching, decided to lay low for a little longer until the shooting stopped. He's asked for medical assistance. Let's see. It's amazing ghoulification to destroy his vocal cords. Alright, with no end of the ghost people in sight, the constant threat of the cloud, the progress has been somewhat slow. Managed to take the Villa Clinic, which is home to a series of advanced autodocs, making the place a prime location for a forward aid station. During the push across the street, our forces were pinned down by highly accurate sniper fire. This is not an act of the ghost people, this was someone who knew how to handle soldiers in power armor. After an agonizing few hours dueling with some of the expedition's best sharpshooters and copious use of the autodoc, we cornered the assailant in what we could guess was where they stayed this entire time. An assault team is being prepared to storm the place, but we recognize the sigil on inside the place as the wings, gears, and sword of the Brotherhood. Our assault team pushed into the safe house, finding the lone, scared yet determined woman inside. She tried to put up a fight, but unarmored and armed only with her fists, she had no chance. One of our soldiers got a lucky shot off with his laser rifle, and she was reduced to ash on the spot. Whoever she was doesn't matter. Another Brotherhood insurgent down for the count. Echo of Utopia lost. Our researchers have been piecing together memory banks and studying the machines. This is TV Town? It seems they weren't evil, just horrifically ignorant of the outside lands, coupled with the fact that they were walking, talking war machines with strength of a soldier and power armor and laser eyes. They would likely never understand humanity or the wasteland. One of our scientists even got one of the things back online. Well, just its head, and removed the thing's laser eyes. It claims its name is 40011, and tests show it has heightened self-awareness. She's expressed that she doesn't want to die or see her town left to the dustbin of history. The issue is she claims humans are too fragile to survive in the wasteland, the fact we destroyed her town notwithstanding. Insofar, some of the researchers claim we should continue the scrapping of the town and reap the rewards. Others say with some basic reprogramming and modifications to the android chassis, they can live alongside us. Well, apparently we don't have a choice. Okay, not really. For the most part, reconstruction of TV Town has been slow. Much of the holdup is threefold: repairing the damaged and destroyed android chassis, showing out the servos, weapons, everything else that makes these things a threat to mankind. Lastly, reprogramming them with basic understanding of wasteland culture and have them not accidentally kill a caravan group by locking them in jail for 3 months. At most, progress has been slow, but progress is progress. A few of the refurbished androids are obviously not human, but at this point, we stopped giving a damn. Of course, not everything is going smoothly. Some of the more damaged models have been put to work in factories, producing things 24/7, reducing our consumer goods cost. A few settlers have even moved into the town, plenty being robot enthusiasts and some more weird types. Alright, that reduces consumer goods need. And yeah, okay, that works. Alright, a cursed shelter. Cleaning crews and a few archaeologists have entered behind our troops to sift through the wreckage and clean the frozen cloud residue. A few discovered a set of notes written by the predecessors of the ghost people, preserved through time by the cloud. Upon reading it, we've discovered, to our horror, The ghost people are the mutated remains of the resort's construction crew, staff, and police. Many of them cursed Sinclair, the previous owner, and others have expressed horror of what's become of them. A few others, probably medical staff, documented their mutation. A tragedy aside, the opening has effectively opened a second front in our cleansing of Sierra Madre, with surface forces pushing into the villa, and a third team being prepped to assault the resort casino itself. Alright, naval officers, complete. Oh, actually we do both of them. And we're not mutually exclusive, right. Do them both then. Enclave battleship. That's done. Experimental velocity booster. I'm just trying to get these. Right, Enclave Dreadnought design is complete. Composite plating. Plasma warhead. Plasma discharger.
Enclave here.
Alright, there's our armor.
Enclave here. This is Enclave main com.
Yeah, they should be heading up there. Alright, haywire holograms. The third front has officially opened with the breaching of the resort itself. We expected more ghost people. Instead, we've run afoul of the casino's highly advanced security systems, holographic projectors that seem immune to all types of weapon fire. Our team is currently pinned down in the lobby of the resort as technicians try and find a way to disrupt the casino's security systems. Outside the villa, our troops have managed to push into the remaining villas and are conducting cloud clearing procedures. Already engineers, construction crews, and prospectors are rummaging through the clearing areas and beginning the restoration process of the resort. We should have the place up and running within the month. Alright, torpedoes. Advanced radar arrays. Do I have enough to field another fleet? I don't think so. We don't really need the manpower. Oh, we've already started. I forgot to flag those as one only. Okay. Which is fine. We could always use another army of motorized and armored troops. Naval Aviation Warfighting Development Center, headquartered at the Naval Air Station Fallon. Naval Aviation Warfighting Development Center, or NAWDC, has the premier air warfare center for the United States Navy. In common popular U.S. parlance of the era, it was known as Top Gun. That is the real treasure of NAS Fallon, which many prospectors, scavengers, and the Yakuza failed to understand, given that none of them ever thought they would ever be flying in post-war America. Now that NAS Fallon is back in our control, we can open those old vaults and databanks and return the best of the best to the Navy's fighter school and put it towards our own fighters and vertibirds, as well as train new generation of air aces to dominate the skies and the farce that is many wasteland air forces. Improves air agility and ace generation. Guardians of the Pacific. Once the Southwest Master Jet Base for the United States Navy, the automated security systems for one of America's most important installations in the Southwest has kept the facility relatively intact from various prospectors and scavengers. Now the base is returning to full operation status once again. A particular boon to us was the facilities for aircraft repair, allowing our pilots a better chance to train without the risk of damaging precious aircraft, as they can be repaired relatively instantly. Improves air agility in Ace Generation. Return of the CBs. A munitions and storage site for the U.S. Navy in the pre-war. Much of it sadly detonated thanks to the bombs of the Great War, leaving behind a ruined husk of former office buildings and ruined warehouses. However, our civilian engineers and the Navy construction battalions rolled up their sleeves and restored Seal Beach to its prime. Almost as if the bombs never fell, the lessons learned and the techniques developed can be rapidly put forward to other naval base and dockyard construction projects, allowing us to build them in record time. Reduces naval refit cost. Weapons of the Old World. Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake was at one time a hotbed of naval weapons development and design, and was instrumental in allowing the United States to maintain surface sea control just prior to the Great War. With the weapons developed there, after the Great War, it became a bombed-out husk. Many of its underground facilities were caved in and lost. Regardless, the Navy is eager to get the base back to full capacity and restore its status as the mightiest Navy in the world, if nothing more than shooting pirates on the Emerald Seas. Ground Strike and Ace Generation. Alright, Advanced Centimetric Radar, so this is all complete. Automated Fire Prevention Systems. Let's get Stent Security Solutions and Poseidon Energy up and running. And let's get Vandenberg restored. Alright, all of the airfields that I had planned to rebuild up are built up. Okay, so there. Do we have any more planes to move in? No. Okay, well, let's start setting up some air squadrons. Let's do 800 fighters. Oh, those are attackers. That's ground support. Fighters. Oh, yeah. All right, Villa secure. Alright, after days of heavy fighting and an unfortunate few losses, Army combat teams and injured units reported the villa is secure. Much of the cloud has been cleaned up, although engineers are reporting that the shoddy pipe infrastructure will continue to leak the stuff until the source of it in the ventilation is found. In fact, the engineers are reporting that much of the villa is in disrepair, and the buildings themselves are of relatively cheap pre-war make and design. It will take some time and effort, especially since prospectors and archaeologists are keen to start digging around the area we've cleared. Of note, one of our teams found an emitter that displays holograms and the ones reported in the casino itself. This might be the key to defeating the holograms, since they've been impossible, or seem to be impossible to kill. Alright, get it fixed up. Right, to much of our surprise, this decrepit old Enclave vessel, is docked in our primary naval base. Stepping off it was one of a salty bunch of sailors in Enclave naval uniforms, headed by a woman whose stare belied the experience her age begets. Providing the correct clearance codes, it's none other than the crew of the USS Enterprise, the last ship of the Enclave Navy. Leading the ship was the self-styled Admiral Jean Richard, who was promoted when the ship's commander passed away a few years ago. When serving as privateers for hire in the Southern Hemisphere after being deployed near Seattle when the rig went down. When the Enclave and America returned, they set sail, and upon arrival, many wept tears of joy seeing their flag waving. Admiral Richard has offered her services to the President of the United States, citing years of experience beyond anything we can muster in the near future. Alright, last of America's carriers. Along with Admiral Richard came her ship, the USS Enterprise, or what was left of it, the last of the United States supercarriers. The ship was over 200 years old and had quite the story. Within her resting hull are parts from no less than 5 other carriers that served in the Pacific Fleet when the bombs fell in 2077. Over the intervening years, the ship was instrumental in surveying and understanding the post-war world. It was the Marines and sailors aboard the Enterprise that established Navarro, freeing the ship from ferrying vertebrates to the mainland, and it was further spared when Richardson deployed it to the Los Angeles Boneyard when the rig went down. In the years since, the ship sailed south, hoping to sail around Cape Horn and link up with the Enclave on the east coast. Sadly, a run-in with pirates in the South American waters left the ship damaged and its commander dead. It was when his protege, Joan Richard, picked up our signal that she and her inherited crew made what repairs they could and sailed north once more. Now it sits listing heavily in San Diego Naval Base. While the ship itself can be refloated, its age and state of decay after 200 years of hard service leave it useless as a warship. That doesn't mean we can't use it. You can scrap it for parts. Turn it into a museum ship. Most nations even operate a navy, host nothing more than a small flotilla of canoes or led by a clipper or a barge at most. Only the largest or most technologically advanced, like the NCR and the Brotherhood, are capable of sailing actual fleets of warships. With the Legion classes being an outlier, aircraft are a forlorn dream for many nations. There's something beyond their tribal existence, with even the NCR struggling to field warplanes, much to the detriment of the rest of their military. To merge the two into the aircraft carrier is such a laughable concept that most nations don't even bother to. Even pre-war, it was a struggle to field and maintain one carrier. Most developed nations, sailing one would require just as much effort, and many a wasteland nation would expend their entire nation just to... I don't know what this is trying to say. Of course, most wasteland nations aren't the Enclave. Our growing industrial might, vast reserves of manpower and technological mastery, we can wield a vast armada of warships, entire fleets of aircraft. With the return of the USS Enterprise, the ship's computer databanks maintain in its schematics for the old vessel. Allow us to build aircraft carriers for the first time in over 200 years. Let enemies of the Enclave tremble in fear when the sight of old ward supercarriers appear off their coast and unleash their deadly payload. If there was ever a symbol that America was back, it will be our aircraft carriers. We get a carrier design. Alright. Technology, super heavy hull. Do it. Okay. see, the other group. Go over here. Go over there. Okay. It's kind of slow going with all those events to work through. All right, but we're heading towards there.
This is Enclave main com.
It's gonna be a tough line to hold. I'm hoping is that we just, with our doctrines and tech, we'll just overwhelm them. We'll see. Wait a second. Really? The Hoover Dam is still controlled by the Caesar's Legion? Ah. I see. Well then. We'll have to do something about that. Alright, but for now, we're at the end of the episode, so go ahead and stop here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.